Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Pat Walsh channel on YouTube with me, your host, Dirty Pat Walsh. Can you believe it? Yeah. So I got something to review today. I never thought I'd see the day here. But Hillary sent me this. She didn't know what it was. She just thought it was some dip. But it is, but it isn't. It's fine. Well, you've read the fucking title by now. It's fine cut Baccoff Wintergreen, extra Wintergreen. No tobacco, no nicotine, moist snuff alternative since 1992. Handcrafted, the lettering so bright on this. Handcrafted moist snuff alternative. Fine cut Baccoff. That's what it says. On the sides, it says smokeless tobacco snuff alternative. No tobacco, no nicotine. Net weight 1.2 ounces. Ingredients: tea leaves, sugar, natural and artificial flavors, glycerin, salt, water, dietary fiber, caramel coloring, sodium benzoate. That's a preservative. It's all FDA compliant. It's made in the USA. By a weird fucking symbol company, Selma, Alabama. www.dipstop.com, blah blah blah. They give a number, whatever the fuck is. Now the difference. Okay, I've only had a couple snuff alternatives in my life, and once back in the early 2000s, and I was kind of trying to quit dipping. I was getting more into snuff, like nasal snuff, and dipping wasn't conducive to most of what I did in my life at that point. So I did try, when I was on the road with the band, I found at a gas station a couple cans of Smoky Mountain. One was cinnamon and one was peppermint, I think. And I tried them both. The cinnamon one was horrible. I don't really like cinnamon all that much in stuff. I like cinnamon rolls. That's about it. And they were just both atrocious. They were made of corn silk. You know, like what kind of who the goddamn thought up that corn silk? It's fucking disgusting. But anyway, this is made of tea leaves. So we're going to crack it open and see what it's all about. Now, out of all the snuff alternatives I've heard about in my life, Baccoff seems to get a decent review. Every review I've seen has been on their rough cut, which I suppose is kind of like long cut dip. And this is fine cut, and it's made of tea leaves. So I don't know. That kind of gives me a bit of hope. It's got a plastic can, plastic body. It's not a great can. It's an offset sticker on the lid. I don't know if you can see any of the cut. There. Fuck. I gotta wash that now. That's what we're dealing with in the can. So it does kind of look like, it looks like a really moist and chunky Skoal original fine cut, if anything. It more looks like a wad of goo. It's very, very moist. So let's grab a pinch and see what it's all about. Now, let's smell it first. It says extra wintergreen. And it does have a wintergreen smell off it. You can tell it's not tobacco, though. It's got a real, it smells really sweet. for Wintergreen. So, and let's just try it and see. Let's see. Pinchability. Pinchability for fine cut, it's not bad. That's pretty good. 2 pinches, and I got a pretty big lip. Pardon me. I have a little pile of dust from my shoes by my feet, and this fell right in it, so I had to wash it off. So, but okay. First impressions is this isn't bad. I find it stays well in the gum. You know, it's not. I got a big lip of it in. I'm just packing it down, and it's staying well formed. It doesn't taste bad at all. Like this is like 100 miles above Smoky Mountain, in my opinion. um, I'm a little dry today. I don't know. Spit's kind of like dip. Um, it's like a. I don't want to get into the details of the spit. Um, um, it's not bad. You know, I could see myself packing one of these and leaving it in for a long time, just to have something in my lip. You know, because often I want to dip, but I actually don't really want all the nicotine at that point. You know, it's like when you throw out a dip, like probably sometimes 5 minutes later you want another one, and this will be good for that because it's not gross. It's not corn silk soaked in molasses. You know, I give it a good review. I give it a very positive review. So there you go. Thank you, Hillary, for fine cut, Baccoff, extra wintergreen. No tobacco, no nicotine. Do you all know what I mean? Yeah, so that's cool. Um, I thought that was going to be a bit of a horror show. But I'm going to tell you a story of something that happened to me yesterday that, you know, during my time as a musician, in the early years of being a musician, you know, I often thought, you know, when I start like reading reviews of what I've done, or you know, hearing stuff, like, you know, just hearing what people think of your stuff on a grander scope than what your friends think. I've always wondered what that felt like, you know, and I got a good taste of that over the last little while from newspapers and media and shit like that. But one of my co-programmers up at Trent Radio, who I don't know at all, and Trent Radio is closed for the year anyway. But he sent me he sent me a message yesterday. He said, "Hey man, I really like your music," which is always astounding for me to hear right off the bat. He said, "I really like your music." So much so that I did an in-depth radio show on strictly on you back in January. It was like January 23rd, I think, and he sent it to me, so I got to sit and listen to a radio show about me, put together by people who don't know me at all, you know, and just hear what they thought. And it was an honor, like, you know, because they really seemed to like it. This guy really seemed to like it anyway. His name's Nicholas Van Beek, I think, something like that. Um, but yeah, it was. And if you're watching this, Nick, cheers, man. Thank you so much. You made me feel like I've always wondered how that would feel. You know? Yeah, it was really great. He went back into my. He didn't go too back into my life. Like, he didn't get into my early '90s music at all. But then again, you only have an hour on the radio, and who knows what he knows. But he went back into my old catalog of, like, Broken Chair, my album Deviants and Troubled Hearts. Uh, he went into my Mirkwood stuff. At midnight, call the doctor, and he played a couple tracks off Corey Darlin' Corey, but he was only familiar with it being the second side of the cassette of Midnight Call the Doctor. So it's a totally different album. If you watch this, yeah, go check out Mirkwood Recordings, and you can see both those albums and download them for free, and also see a split EP I did with Bone Daddy, and a live LP I did with uh, Jill Stavely. Um, yeah, that Bone Daddy EP. The more I think about it, that's one of my favorite things I've done. I think. Um, I love Dan's music so much, you know. But anyway, yeah. So he went back into my catalog a bit and played a few songs. Like, it was funny because he kept mixing up the title. Like, he wanted to play one song, but he ended up playing another. But the song that he ended up playing, I was happier that he played that song because I like it better, you know. Um, so that was kind of cool. Um, I a lot of those songs I don't remember how to play them, because they're so long ago, and I just haven't been practicing them. Um, and I used to have a lot of words in my songs. I don't really have so many words anymore, but I guess you can only really say something once, right? Um, this dip is, I like it. It's weird, but I like it. Um, but yeah, it was, I don't know. He ended up, he ended off the show, kind of like he played my version. I covered a version of Skip James on At Midnight Call the Doctor, and then he played that, and then he'd play Skip James' version and compare the two, because I play cover songs very differently, and I do that on purpose. It's part of my mission to I'm going to speak in my own voice, and I'm going to borrow elements of your song. It's a blues tradition to do that. Take elements of other people's songs and make them your own. Um, that's kind of that's where I stand on that. Um, I think that's an honorable, time tested tradition in the blues, in the world of blues music. Um, and yeah, and he played Worried Life. This is one I'm really glad that he did an A/B to. He played Worried Life Blues by Mississippi Fred McDowell, which is a fucking amazing song. And then he played my version of it, and my version of it I played on a really ragtag 3-string cigar box guitar with a butter knife as a slide. And it just sounds I really like it, but it's very discordant. It's certainly not Mississippi Fred McDowell, but it's me speaking in my own voice. And the things he had to say about it were, I think he kind of gets gets where I'm coming from. He called me depressing a lot. That's okay. My music is pretty depressing. It's just, that's where the cards fell. So, but anyhow, I'm getting off topic. I'm talking about me and my experience. It's a really nice sunny day. I have this kind of selfie stick thing, and I do plan on doing a walk around video, just to show what, it's not really news. Everywhere's like it, but I kind of just want to show what Peterborough looks like, in the state of crisis, But I feel, I'm still getting over the panic of having to go out yesterday, and I think I'm gonna wait until I'm feeling better before I venture downtown again. But anyhow, it's all good and well. So anyhow, Baccoff, extra wintergreen. The wintergreen taste is it's really pleasant. It's not it definitely is much sweeter than like the Skoal product. Like, I think that's the closest product that I could compare it to is Skoal Fine Cut Original. Like, if you're going to compare it to an actual dip. But it's kind of like, it's got a good burn to it. It's got the sweetness of Copenhagen, but overall it feels more like Skoal, if that makes any sense. It's got a good wintergreen burn to it, but the only thing that's really missing with this is you don't have the nicotine. You don't have the mouth feel of nicotine buzzing up your gums and stuff, or tingling, whatever. It feels like a tingly thing. And there's certainly no nicotine fix off it. But it feels like a dip, tastes like a dip. It's pretty good. I haven't tried many of these herbal dips, but I tried this one, and I'm glad I did. So yeah, if you're planning on quitting dipping or just want an herbal or alternative, try out Baccoff. I don't know. This is the only one I've tried. Fine Cut Extra Wintergreen. It's pretty good. I don't know what the rough cut is like or anything. But this is made of tea leaves, and I think that makes all the difference. That's probably, I don't know what the fuck Outlaw is making his bullshit out of, but I think tea leaves is a much better way to go than mint leaves or certainly corn silk. It's fucking disgusting, people. Be well.